So again, to get everybody up to speed, we have here a schematic, and we were soldering the components for this schematic yesterday. And then what ended up happening was I broke the transistor here. So I can see there, one of the legs, the middle leg, broke right off. And I don't have another version of, you probably can't even see, there you go, of this. It's a BS170 transistor. You can kind of see right there, right? It's the BS170. I only have two, and this is one of the two. And so this is obviously irrevocably, basically unsavable. Can't reuse this. And then on here we have the other one on the board. This is also a Fairchild BS170 transistor with a 1 mega ohm resistor, and then I have the touch paddle right here. So I was well underway getting this soldered onto the onto this board based on the schematic, and I had it all actually already breadboarded. I kind of taken off most of the stuff here. It was breadboarded on here and tested and had it figured out. I think I have a short video that showed the test results of the breadboard. So anyway, I'm in a dilemma right now because, as you can see here, these notes say that you can use a BS 170. Let me bring it closer here. So it says that you can use a BS 170 or a 2N7000. Well, I started the project and breadboarded it and tested it with the BS 170. Let me see if I can get that so you can see it again right there. Yep, BS 170. Both of them are that way. But like I said, I when I was trying to straighten this middle pin, it broke right off. So these are the only two I have. So the dilemma I have is, do I take one of, let me scoot this back since you can still see it. Take one of these that I had in my kit. See if I can get it to where you can see it. That is a Fairchild 2N7000. Coincidentally, I had that in my bag. So I actually have two of them. So I'm wondering, do I use them interchangeably as if they're the same? This again is the BS 170, and this is the N2N 7000 transistor. I could continue with this board. I had half of it built, and then I just need this. I needed the transistor for the other half to finish it out, and I'm not able to do that. So the dilemma is, do I just use one of each? Or do I make them both the same? And I think what I'm going to do is just discard this board and start over from scratch using both. So let's see, let me make sure I get your name right. Hermit crab. Those ribs on the nails easily means something back. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this fresh board and I'm going to take these components down here and I'm going to redo it. And so the first step in that is going to be that I will need to detach this pressure paddle from this board. And so I'll do that right now. It won't take that long. All I have to do is heat them up and we'll be good to go. Then we'll resume. The only downside to this, I think, is I haven't tested the schematic. I haven't tested this schematic with the 2N7000s. I'm a little hesitant. I think it'll be okay. I don't know what the difference is between the BS 170 transistors and the 2N7000 transistors, but I I guess I'm not confident enough to just use one of each. So I'm just going to redo it and do both on the 2N7000 and hope for the best. So let me, I think I already have the soldering iron station fired up and ready to go there. So I'm just going to tilt this down, and like I said, our first step is going to be to detach this paddle. So I'm going to move this board and these components out of the way, and I'm just going to grab, let me turn the fan on, the solder fan, and I'm going to hopefully be able to detach. There's that one. That was fairly easy. This has a lot more goop on it. Let's see what happens. All right. Easy peasy, right? All right, so that board, we're just going to set aside. Probably won't need anything from it. I think it's just going to be useless. But let me get the solder here. Ooh, some solder fell off onto the mat. Throw that in the garbage. Okay, so here we are again. We've got these two leads. It'll be fine to resolder them, I believe. And we will start again with a fresh board. And I'm gonna get my pen. It kind of wore off. The paddle, or the board kind of wore off last time. You can see right here that I had a plus symbol right here, and then a minus right here. And then I had these listed 1, 2, and then the ground was 3. So let me do that again on this board, just so I can keep track. And let me see if I can bring this down a little bit. All right. So again, these pads, these 5 right here, that's going to be my positive. And that's going to rub off again, I can already tell. And then these 5 pads, it's going to be my negative. And also, it's going to be pin 1. This is pin 2. And this is pin 3. So pin 3. And what I mean by pin is the transistor has 3 pins. And I went ahead and printed out the schematic for this as well. So we'll be that. I think it's the same. It's exactly the same if I'm not mistaken. But we'll compare them here. And then we'll get them soldered in and go from there. So, all right, the board's ready. And let me push this out of the way. I'm just going to toss this. It's no good anymore. Those of you who are here still, who didn't hop in and out, know that have seen this. And hello, this is, let me get your name right. Kami King, welcome. Thank you for being here, sir. All right, so let's bring this back in. I'll pull the camera back out a little bit. We're going to do some soldering. So right there. We'll put this on there in just a sec. What I want to do first is what? I want to get the schematic out real quick. So here's the schematic from the old one that I broke. This is the BS170, and it has the flat facing. This part right here is flat, and so it's like this. So you can see there's let me see if I can get this to work right. On the transistor, you have a flat part of the transistor. That part is supposed to be forward, and when it is forward, then what you have is the pin to the very left is going to be 1, in the middle is 2, and on the right is 3. And also, pin 1 is D, pin 2 is G, and pin 3 is S, and that's drain, I think gate, and source. So I think this transistor that I'm going to switch over to is the same. So let me reach over here to my printer real quick, grab that data sheet. Oops, I got the last page instead of the first. Let's try that again. Okay. So then for this, we have this. Let me just compare these real quick. So it shows the front, just like this one shows the front. And this one shows that when it's facing front, it goes 1, 2, 3. Just like this. pin is 1, 2, 3. All right. And then also you can see that they are the same as far as the layout goes. D is pin 1. Let me zoom in here. So D is pin 1, G is pin 2. So it's D, G, S. Same D, G, S. Okay, so I think I think we're working on the same schematic or the same pinout for the transistor. So we're good there. All right. So let's get this transistor in. So when it's facing me, pin 1 is going to be the far left. I actually did that wrong I actually labeled that wrong. Look at this. That would have been a mistake for sure. Previously when I did it, it was 1, 2, 3, and I have it 1, 2, 3, and I want it the other way around. So I am going to remove those and rewrite them properly. I would have had it does matter what way the transistor goes in, so that would have been a pain in the butt. I would have had to redo everything. Okay, so previously, and for those of you who are just joining, again, let me explain. I'm doing this circuit right here. It's a Morse code paddle, and it's a touch paddle. It's a pressure paddle. It's pressure sensitive, and the pressure points are right here on the outside of this enclosure. And what I'm going to do right now is I had it halfway built. This is the halfway built, and then I broke the other transistor I had like this, and I only had 2 of them. They're BS 170, so I'm switching over, and I'm going to use 2 of the 2N7000s instead. So that's where I'm at. All right. So again, and I just showed that the pinout's the same on them, and they function the same. So this is going to be 3, 2, and 1. All right, now we're right. Okay, I'm going to throw this over here. All right. So then, as I mentioned, flat part facing forward. The far left would be number 1. And so what we need to do is we need to flip it around. And this is how it would go in there. The one it would see. Number 1 would be there, there, and there. Okay, so but I want it on this side of the board. So let's see if I can get that fixed like that. Voila. I think we did it. So again, just to verify, pin 1 is to the far left. And I have that labeled as pin 1 right there. Okay, let's solder it. I think I'm going to turn it this way to solder it. Actually, I'm going to get some tape here real quick. Let me pull this back out. Get some tape. And just tape it just so that it doesn't fall through. Yesterday when I did this, the resistor fell down, and I should have taped it, but I didn't, and that's what you get. But just tape it there. All right. Now we'll put this little board right inside this. I don't even know what you call this tray thing. Maybe it's just called a tray, but get this out of the way so I don't lose it. Get a little closer so you can see the soldering. All right, so there we go. I messed it up. You said, okay, let me take a look. Check again, recheck the pins. Okay, let me go look and check them. All right, so right now, to the far left, the flat part's facing me, right? So to the far left is going to be pin 1, am I right? Pin 1. Yep, pin 1, far right. Okay. So then, if I flip this over, it still remains to the far left, right? Because I'm just flipping it. I'm not switching it around or anything. So I think I do have it right, actually. Correct me if I'm wrong again, but I think this is it. There we go. With the wrong, oh, yeah. No, no, no. The pad's right too, because we need to see this side. There's no soldering surface on this side, right? So we want to stick it through that way, and then we solder on the underside. This is actually the underside. So you're not in pin 1. Let me see. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yep, screwed it up. I got it. I finally got it. Thank you. All right. So let's move these over one. Like this. Somebody just tried to battle me. If you guys don't know what that is, I do that on occasion. There's only really one person that I would accept a battle from. She's not on right now, I don't think. So don't worry about that. All right, I think, are we good, guys? Are we good? Help me out. Let me get some more tape. That tape didn't work very well. Already, it's gone. Got it now. Okay. He can be taught. Thank you. All right, so. Yep. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna, yes, now they're in the right ones. Okay, I'm glad I made that close enough for you guys to see, right? You're not going to Radio Shack? Well, if you do, you'll be looking a long time, won't you, buddy? Since it's gone. But, all right. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of stuff left over from long ago. I'm going to turn this kind of this way. I'm left-handed, so it's kind of tough to do this, but I think I got it like this. Just remember, when soldering, the bigger the glob, the better the job. Methinks not, but thank you for the suggestion. Okay, turn on the fan here. Again, sorry about that. It may be a little noisy, but I hope not. And we'll go right here. Well, let's check it and see. It looks like there's a hole in the one on the right still, isn't there? That needs to be redone. But these other two, the pin 1 and pin 2 look good. Pin 3 has a problem, doesn't it? You see right there? Pin 3 is still got that hole, so we'll go with that. See if we can get that fixed. I might be able to, well, let me just use some more solder. Like you said, the more glob, the better the job. All right, let's get this hole filled in. I think that did it. So there is still a very small hole, a few still open. Okay, well I'll put on the magnifying glass here in just a sec. Yeah, there's still a small hole. You saw that from there? Wow, you got good eyes. Or that was probably from the last comment, right? From the last one. Let's try it there. All right. Looks good, huh? Don't you think? All right. Now I'm going to take, get this garbage can here. And I'm going to clip these off. Put these ends off here. Get those out of the way. Oh, there's still a handful of Radio Shacks open. I didn't know that. Another person trying to invite me to go in live with them to do the battle. I'm not doing the battle. Just really one friend I have that I would pause for, and she's not around, I don't think. Okay, so here we are. Got the it could have been down a little further, but I think we're fine. All right, that's good enough for me. It'll fit within the enclosure. So next is going to be, I'm just going to go ahead and look at what I did before. And that looks like this. So what I did was I connected a 1 mega ohm resistor into pin 2, and I took that from pin 2 over to, looks like ground. That was horrible soldering yesterday, by the way, as you can tell. Yeah, so that goes into ground, and I'm leaving the hole there for the power source connector. So let's do the same over here. We'll get this resistor, and we're going, I think I left a space there. And I think it went in this one here. Yeah, just like that. And up and out. There we go. Flush with the board. And so again, here's the schematic right up here. Okay. So we see here that it goes from the sensor. Well, if you're tracing it backwards, then you go from ground through the resistor and then to the sensor. So the sensor, we're going to pin the sensor in here in just a minute, 2. But I think we're still good as far as where we're going. Let's solder that. Move these out of the way. What's the circuit for? Explain the schematic, please. Sure, I'll do that. Just a second. Let me read the rest of the... Some home hobby towns have Radio Shack sections. Okay. And then Morse code keyer uses pressure pads. Yes, that's exactly what the pad is, or the schematic. But I'll show it. I actually have a video that I posted. It's a couple days old now on my feed. But yeah, I'll explain it here. So it's a Morse code paddle. So basically, I've got a pressure sensor. And it's going to go like this. It's going to enclose on this on both sides, and then that circuit is going to allow me to send Morse code, dits and das, da 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 da. Okay, and if you want to see I breadboarded it out and videoed the breadboard testing, so you can go look at a video I have. I think it's my most recent video I have posted there, and I might as well just pull it over here and say so it's like this. These are the expensive. Well, this one's not too expensive, but these are the manufactured Morse code paddles, okay, for a ham radio, and but this is mechanical. This one I'm making here is based on electronics and pressure. So, hope that answers your question. Now let's get this soldered. I should tape it this time. It's like last time I didn't tape it, and it just took off on me. So let's get some tape on it. So, Oklahoma, glad you're back. Good to see you again. There's a few other people that have been here for the other parts of the build that aren't here today. I don't know. I guess some people just can't make it every day, right? I know the time is kind of bad. It's right in the middle of the day. It's my lunch hour. That's why I'm doing it now. But just got to do what you can do. All right, I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to try to pull this closer together. I'm not sure if it'll work or not, but I'm going to try like that. It just works better for me to get in there. All right. Good enough. Now, where's the rest of that solder? Here we are. That didn't stick. There we go. I think that's good. Let me look and make sure that there's no hole there. Yeah, I think that went. Yep. All right. Now I'm going to trim this off as well. Hold on. How do you like my protein shake there I had today? Looking at my trash. Okay. And then we'll take this off. Okay, making some progress. Let's move this back over here. Now the next thing I did, and the last thing actually I think is to, well, not the last, but second to last, is to, stop shaking, is to put this pressure paddle in the proper place up through here. And so you remember, if you just joined me, I labeled the, let me grab my pencil, or maybe this right here. So I labeled these tracks right here as positive. I haven't connected anything to positive yet, or to VCC. I labeled these tracks right here to negative, and I already have pin, what is it going to be, pin 3 of the transistor right here, and then I have the resistor right here, both already on the ground, or negative. So the next step is I want to connect this pressure paddle, one end to positive, and then the other end I want to connect to ground. So, but not just directly to ground, it needs to be connected. If you look at the schematic again, how it goes is, let's move this out of the way. So one end of the sensor goes to VCC, the other end of the sensor connects to the resistor that goes to ground, and also connects to the G, which I think is a, what is it, gate? Is that what it is? Yeah, the gate. And so with this right here, if I put that pin, like right in there, if I put that pin right here, the other pin for the pressure paddle right here, then that will, it'll go to there. Let's see, is that going to be working right? Is that going to work? Well, I guess we'll try it and see. It goes to there. So it goes through the gate. Sensor goes through the gate. Just trying to make sure the schematic works out right. Jay Johns, you bet. A ham radio. Yeah, I have a ham radio. Let's see. So one end goes directly to the gate. And then from the gate it kind of goes other places. So that's good. The other end goes through the resistor and to ground. Okay, got it. Yep, we're good. No, that's not right. Sorry, just talking through this. You really got to get it right, or else it doesn't work properly. And I'm not electrical engineer, so I got to take my time here. So it goes to actually pin 2. So this goes to pin 2. See, I almost got it wrong. So okay, all right. So one end of this is going to go up through VCC. Move that right. Come on, get up there. There it is. The other end is pin 2. Right here. Like that. This is how it should be. And so then what ends up happening is VCC goes through the pressure paddle and then through here, and then it hits the resistor and goes to ground, and also hits the gate, and the gate we'll connect some stuff to that in just a minute. But the gate, and then from the gate, then it goes to through the gate, through the transistor to ground over here. Yeah, we're good. Oh, yeah, I didn't show you. Is this a kit you can buy? It is not a kit you can buy. This is just somebody's design. Somebody made it up. Somebody asked kind of the same question yesterday, and I was remiss because I know that it's in some sort of a magazine. I think it's QST. I think it's QST Magazine, but I'm not sure. But the design is in a magazine, and that's where I got it from. Actually, it was pointed out. I'm friends with the guy who actually came up with the design. So, but really, it's just a few components, and it's not that big a deal. You just got to buy the couple pressure paddles, a couple transistors, and a couple of resistors, and you're good. All right. I'm just going to leave it like that and try to solder it. Let's hope it works. Bro, we metals in public school. Yeah. All right. Turn the fan back on. That one. I knew that wasn't going to work. Come on. Let me tip it the other way here real quick. Ooh, that's not good. That should work. Fan off. That's still got a hole in it, doesn't it? Come on. After all that. All right. Fan on again. Let's see if we can get this fixed. I think that did it. We don't need perfect soldering joints because it's just a home project, but we got it there. Oh, look, there's still a hole there. Is that a hole? Oh, that's silver. Okay. Okay, that one's good. Good to go there. Let me clip those leads off just a little bit. All right. There we go. Okay, half done. That's half of the project. We just need to rinse and repeat for the other side and then connect a few more things and we're done. So and what I'm going to do is just do the same thing on the other side. We can connect both sides here in just a minute, but I'm going to draw here. This is going to be plus on this side too. And what we'll do is connect the two pluses with a wire, and this is going to be minus. It just makes more sense to me. This is going to be minus. You guys that are electrical engineers, I'm sure, know a way better way to do this, but this is me as a non-electrical engineer, so I'm just going to do it my way. So this is also pin 3, pin 2, and pin 1. These two in the middle we may end up using for something else, but that's good enough. All right, repeat the process. I'm going to grab this other 2N7000. It's the same identical resistor as transistor as we had previously. Might be a little hard to see, but anyway, there we go, right there. Okay, it's a Fairchild 2N7000. There we go. And then this also is going to be kind of the opposite, right? Because pin 3 on this side of the board is on the left. Pin 3 on this side of the board is on the right. So in actuality, again, remember, flat side faces forward. And then we start over on the left as pin 1. So in reality, this way we're pointing this way, facing us this time. And again, let me make sure I get these in the right holes. We're just going to go right around the other side of the board. I'm glad you guys pointed it out to me last time. So pin 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so I'm going to go on the other side of the board with these. I'm just kind of making the holes fit first. One, two, three. Is that right? Nope. It needs to go over one more. Okay, so the flat side facing me, this is pin 1 right here. If we flip it over, pad 1 is pin 1, so then it follows 2 and 3. And this time I've got them in the right holes. Okay, let's get a little bit of tape on this. I think we might have a opportunity to test this. We're going to take this all the way to the end, I think, and put a power source on it and test it. I think I can just leave this. I don't need that rail thing anymore. I'm just going to leave it like that and see if I can solder those on. Where's my length of solder? It's missing. Well, it'll turn up. But in the meantime, let me just grab some more. Friend of mine just asked to go live, and he's a ham radio operator. I'm kind of sad I can't do it right now because I'm in the middle of this project, but I'll circle back around to him. Okay, so fan on. Let me get this tinned. I hope I don't cross over those pads. See, he's inviting me again. Dang it. Let me just catch him real quick. Oh, wait, no, he's not inviting me. It just says to invite him. That's different. TikTok sometimes, I tell you. I hope I didn't cross over. That would be bad if I crossed over the pads. I have to put it under a magnifying glass here in a minute and check. Oh, good. You can just tell right now, can't you? This camera is actually better than my microphone. I mean microphone, my magnifying glass. Come on. Yep, there's separation between those tracks there. Okay, good. Now again, I'm gonna clip those ends off here in the garbage. What does the pressure paddle look like? Well, since it's homebrew, it's different for everybody. You just make it however you want. Mine is going to look like this. Oops, turn it around. It's going to look like this. I'm going to get these glued on here. Okay, I have an end cap laying around somewhere here, but you put the end cap on, so it's just going to be in this enclosure like this. And so then I would just hold it and do the dits and dots like that. But I'm not quite there yet. Unfortunately, this is just kind of, since it's homebrew, it's just whatever you make it to be. So close though. Oh, hey there, WA7PBE is in the house. I was thinking, I thought that you were inviting me to go live, but it was just TikTok saying, hey, this dude's here, go live. But anyway, glad you're here. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do is get this this resistor. We're going to do the same thing we did on the other side. And so it went to pin, well, we know it went to ground on one side, and it went across from pin 2, middle pin, pin 2. So we'll do the same thing. We'll put this through pin 2 on one end, and then we'll put it through ground on the other, if we can make it happen. Yep. And then we'll try to push that flush to the board. It becomes more difficult as time goes on and you add more components, but I think we got it. I'm going to tape that one too. All right. So we're on negative and we're on pin 2. That's what we want based on the schematic up here, which you can't see. All right, let's see now. Yeah, it's a build. I'll go live with you if you want. I'm not doing anything nearly as interesting as what you're doing. Well, I was just telling them, the people that were watching, that I want to go live with you, but the but the build right now is kind of more important. And so, but I do want to go live with you too. It'd be fun to. I was going to talk to you about that. I was going to suggest that you and me and what's the other guy's name? Mark, I think. Do some sort of a regular, the three of us get in the boxes or the squares and talk about ham radio and electronics and stuff like that. So just go live every once in a while. But anyway, Oklahoma, you say I don't want to fall away from the board as don't want it to fall away from the board as you solder. Yeah, that's why I put the tape on it. So just going to tape the bottom here, the resistor. Yeah, it would be cool. I think so. We should talk about it offline, or I mean, if you're around when I'm done building this, then we can try something for the first time too. But all right, I'm just setting that right like that, guys, and I am just going to solder that without the stand that I have. I think that'll work. Solder, here it is. Fan on. Tin the tip. And away we go. Hey there, Kelsey. How you doing? Kelsey's a friend of mine that is not ham or electronics related. She's just a friend that does the battles, and I talk to her in the boxes and stuff. So she's probably like, "What in the heck is this guy doing?" But yeah, I'm building a Morse code paddle, and right now I'm soldering. Used a WA7 PBE. I just got home from the Air and Space Museum. It was awesome. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I've never been there. That sounds like a fun time. And Oklahoma was just trying to poke fun at your resistor yesterday. Oh yeah, yeah. Yesterday, yeah, that one kind of was a flop, wasn't it? These are the things that happen to people who are not expert engineers. Yeah, that's right, yeah, Kelsey. All right, let's see here. So let's make sure that didn't cross over to a different rail. And it doesn't look like it did. It looks like that gloop is on there. All right, once again, I'm not sure, I won't show you this every time. I'm just gonna clip these off, but have the garbage can right down here. Okay. All right. Hey, we're making progress. Let's get this off. Now we're going to put the other paddle, pressure paddle, in. And this is the one that goes on the other side. And the question I have for myself, I'm posing myself right now, is do I stick them through still on the bottom and solder them? Or do I try to do something on the top? But I think I am still going to stick them through the bottom. Let's see. So what we did last time is one pressure paddle, end of the pressure paddle went to what I labeled plus. Let me grab this. Or VCC right here. So one end goes there, and the other end I put on the end of number 2. So we'll do that same thing. We'll put one pin in here and one pin in here. That's not right. We'll put one pin in here and then one pin in here. So one step from the top, what I'm making is a pressure paddle for Morse code, and I'm almost done. And when I'm done, it'll go together like this. Okay, and then the circuit will allow these pressure points for me to send dits and dots. And I think we're going to be able to get this all assembled and at least do a test on it, and hopefully the test will work and you can be able to see it. But here is the schematic right up here for it, and it's just two N7000 transistors, 2 1 mega ohm resistors, 2 sensors, and then a 1.5 millimeter jack to plug it in, which we'll be doing as well. So let's get this last piece. Well, there's a few more pieces we've got to do, but this is one of the last. Tap the screen while learning, please, and thank you. Kelsey, thank you so much. Yes, the more likes I get, the better I'm promoted on TikTok. Thank you so much. And yes, one step from the top. Cool design. Yeah, it's not mine. It's not my design. It's Tim Keen is his name, and he's from New Mexico. He's the one that brought it up, and he had an article in QST Magazine about it. So, oh, fan's on. Let me turn that fan off for a minute. All right, let's see if I can get this one end through. Let's see, make sure that these line up like this. I'm going to put this end in through here. I'm going to do one at a time just because it's going to be easier. There we go. So the design is from Tim Keen from, I can't remember his call sign. It's I have to look up his call sign. I know him, he's a friend of mine, but I can't remember his call sign. Isn't that funny? I should post that though, huh? Let me, when I get near the end, I'll go look it up and make sure that I get that information out, because you're not the first person that's asked what it is. I think the leads will be too short. You think so? Because I'm just going to put this in and then it's going to flip over, right? So it should be fine. But we'll try it. I can unsolder, I can desolder them and redo it if they end up being too short. Fan on. Let me move this over where you can see it. Fan off. All right, that one's connected, and then we will do pin 2. Oh, this is different, isn't it? Pin 1 and pin 2 is different. Let's see, pin. It's just interesting. Pin 2 on the left side. Pin 2 on the left side goes vertical. Pin 2 on the right side goes horizontal. It kind of threw me for a sec. Let's get that in there though. All right. Last one, and then we just have a few more wrap-up items. We got to connect the 3.5mm jack. We also have to connect ground and VCC together on both sides because we haven't done that yet. But let's do this, get this last one done. And of course, pray that I didn't make a mistake. All right. So you think the leads will be too short because the pads won't be on the same end. Oh, did I do the wrong end? Oh, let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, I think you're right. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Ooh, it's going to be close. I bet I can make it work. It's going to be close, but we'll cross that bridge, I guess. Okay. Last thing. Well, okay, we have three more things we got to do. One is we need to connect the 3.5mm jack. There's 3 pins on that. Actually, there's 4 things. I need to desolder these because I don't need these. I had these leads in here, these 3 leads connected, because I couldn't put it in the breadboard. So this thing here, they were so thin that I couldn't put them in this board. So I had to add these leads. But I'm going to take these off now. I'm actually not even going to desolder them. I'm just going to clip them and then restrip, and then we need to attach them. There's 3 points in which we attach them. One of them goes to ground, one of them goes to either end. So there's that, but also in addition to that, yeah, you got me worried now about the length of the lead. I'm going to clip these ends off and hope for the best on that. We also have to find room for the battery too. So yeah, there may be an issue here. Let's see. Well, let's do the first things first. So Havakik, hi from Argentina. Thank you. Hi. Let's connect. Let me go over here on this. We're going to connect the VCC first. Let me pull this back out. So Oklahoma, yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of concerned about them leads not being long enough. We'll go with it, at least run a test and see if the test works. And then if we get that far, and everything's successful, then we'll consider redoing those leads. Let's see. With the brown, how long do we need? We need to go from, yeah. So we want to connect plus right here. So these 5 holes, and one of them has solder in it, need to connect to these 5 holes. And I was just going to run from this pin to this pin. I'm just trying to see if it's going to be long enough. Yeah, I think that's just right, actually. Let's try it. So there, over to here. It's just a little bit long, but that's okay. All right. So see what we're doing here? We're just connecting VCC, or positive, both ends of positive together. And so, as I mentioned, we have a pin coming out here, and we have one coming out here. So they're connecting. I think we're good there. Let's do that, and then we'll do the same thing with the negative. I think I'm going to need that grabber thing though I have here. So let me pull the phone out just a little bit. I think I'm going to need the grabber for this. Actually, let me tape it first too. Oops, sorry for the bump. Oh, that came out. Dang it. So does the colors matter or just the length? Kelsey, are you talking about the wire colors? The wire colors don't matter because I'm just using wire. I mean, some people like to use black and red to represent the negative and positive, but the wire colors in this case, I just grabbed some. I'm just doing it kind of sloppily. People who care will actually change the colors and do that, but I'm not doing it. I'm just trying to remember which. I'll just try to remember which is positive and which is negative. All right. So that should stick and stay there. All right, see, there's the 2 pins we're going to solder, sticking up there. And they each are on either side of positive. Stretch this out. Oh, into the trash. Oops. If you cut the green one, it goes bottom up. Cut the green. Not sure what that means, but I'm kind of slow, so cut the green something. It goes bottom up. I'm excited to get this on a battery and get it tested. All right, so fan on. Let me turn this around. This is kind of, it's out of reach for me as a left-hander unless I turn it this way. All right. Already need more solder. The good and the bad of a 0.5 size solder. The good is it's very fine. The bad is you can go through it quick. All right. I think I got that. Let's take a close look at it with my magnifying glass that is now a phone. Can't believe that phone works better than my magnifying glass. That's awesome. So that one looks good. And then this side. Oh, let's see. There's still a hole there on that side, isn't there? Let me take a closer look. Yeah. So, but we're connected. We just need to do a better job. A hole there on that side, isn't there? Let me take a closer look. Yeah. So, but we're connected. We just need to do a better job. So, I'm just going to hang this kind of over and try to do a better job here. Maybe I'll just set it down there. It's this pin here. Alright. Did that stay on its own track? Yeah. Alright. Too much solder again, but that's okay. I'm out of practice. I'm clipping off the leads. Okay. Now we have to do the same thing for negative. And so negative is going to be, well, a little bit more touchy because this is negative here, this pad, and so I need to stick one through this hole right here. And then the same thing over here would be right there. It's also going to be the same length, but it's just going to be a little harder to get in there and get the get that soldered. I'm going to have to be really careful. So, all right, another brown. I'm going to try and just do this the best I can. Where are you? Is that it? Nope, over two more. Is that it? Down one. Oh, it looks like the resistor on the bottom side is covering it up, so we'll have to go in that hole there. That's even more risky, but what are we gonna do? What do you do? So yeah, there's a resistor in that hole right there, over the top of it. I might be able to get it moved over and get that pin in. All right, that worked. Now the other side. You probably can't see it, but I'm trying to get the pin in this. I put the resistor over the top of the pinhole that I want. All right, there it is right there. This is proving to be the hardest part so far. Just getting this pin in. There. All right, I think we got that. So can you see the pin come out? It's right there on, nope, that one's wrong. That one's on positive. This pin right here is on positive. It needs to go over one. See how it's coming out on the positive pads? It's got to go in this hole here. On this side though, we do have it in properly. It's on, no, we don't also. It needs to go over one too. It needs to go in this hole. Okay. Get in there. Man. I should have done this at first, huh? This is the price you pay. I haven't used it. This is only my second time ever using an etched board. And the one I did before, I actually created my own etched board. And so I'm just really green with the use of these. I don't think I'm going to be able to go through that one. That's the wrong one. This is the right one, but it's so hard to get in there. But I did it. Okay. So there it is. Coming up through that hole there, that is negative. All right, the other side. Coming up through negative, okay. You need some very fine needle nose pliers. Yes, I do. I have some somewhere lying around, but you know how it is. You just kind of, you're in till you're just in. You just do it. Okay, so that looks like that might have a problem of causing a short if I'm not careful. All right, I'm going to tape that. Do I have a backup? You mean, do I have a backup as far as the parts and stuff go? If that's the answer, the question, the answer is no. But if I do have other Morse code paddles, if that's the backup you're talking about. I actually Kelsey, I started one right here yesterday, and I got halfway through, and let me show everybody. We got a big crowd. I'll see if I can find. So about halfway through, I got to this point where I'm like, okay, we got this half done. Now let's go to this half. And I tried to straighten the middle pin, and I broke it off. And so I had to just stop right there because there's 3 pins and there's only 2 here, and I just ruined this other transistor, and you have to have 2, have to have a set. So I just had to start over today. But we're almost done. Okay, so this negative. Let's get these soldered and hope for the best. Hope I don't get a short. It's a real possibility here because that wire right here. Let's see if I can show you. See, check out that wire. It's kind of bare, and the other one's bare on the resistor. So I'll have to be really careful to make sure those don't touch. I'm just going to lay this on the bench here and just solder right from there. I think there's enough stuff going on that it's not going to matter. And soldering. Now, we're going to be very careful here not to cross the pads. In fact, did that get crossed? No. All right. I'm going to turn this around. This is going to be the hardest one to solder, I'm sure of it, and I need to be very careful. Okay, fan on. I think I crossed them. I think they bled over. Let's look and see. Actually, no. Yay, they're not. I know it's hard to see, but that pin is not crossed over. Okay, good. Success. Halfway there. So Canon, yeah, thanks Oklahoma for explaining. I'll go ahead and explain to you again, Canon, what kind of circuit I'm making. So I'll just take this cell phone out of the holder here for a minute. Here's the schematic. There's a sensor right here, and then a couple transistors, and then a 3.5 millimeter jack. So here's the 3.5 millimeter jack we haven't connected yet, and then all that stuff. And what this is a pressure point, and if I touch on it, it'll send a bunch of dits, and on the other side is the DAWs. So there's 2 pressure paddles. It's a Morse code paddle, similar to this, except for it's a homebrew instead of this manufactured one. So, you know, one side of a paddle sends dits, the other side sends DAWs. So just a way to send Morse code, just a little homebrew project. All right, so let's see here. Now I am going to solder the other side, and so 50% there, but that doesn't mean we're there. All right. Yay, we didn't cross over again. So hey, luckily I made it work. I'm gonna trim those off again. Again, I don't need to show you every time I go to the garbage and trim off the leads. Kelsey, do you have a backup account on TikTok? Oh, yeah. You know what, Kelsey? I just made a backup account just in case. And the backup account, so this account is called Red Summit RF. The backup account is called Red Summit RF. So there you have it. So check it out over there. I'm trying to get that built up. Anything without winding a million damn toroids is a good practice. Isn't that the case? That is so true. So true. Okay, fan off. We're down to our last thing. Our last thing. And that is, well, no, there's two more. So we've got to connect. So there's actually this too. I don't know how this is going to fit in with everything else. This battery I thought would be easily to fit in here with this, but I'm not sure now. I'm not sure this is all going to fit in here. We'll make it fit somehow. Let's see. So I wanted the battery to be the front. And if this is going to be the front, then let me back up a minute. You guys can't see what's going on here. Sorry about that. So here, and then that. If I bring these over, I might be successful in. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I need to get longer leads, but we'll worry about that in just a minute. Let me add these. So this is going to be negative. Let me look on here. So this wire right here, you can just barely see it right there, right? It says negative, and you can see the plus right up there. All right, so turning it around. So we've got to kind of cross these wires just for your, because negative is going to be right here, and positive is going to be right here. I know I'm doing these in wrong, but I just want to make sure this works actually. So I'm not going to solder these until I confirm that I'm getting some dits and dahs. Or am I? Yeah, I think I'll just solder them. Why not? We've gone this far, right? Let's just solder them. Do I have a 3D printer? I do not. I have a lot of friends with 3D printers. So if I get a 3D printer at some point, I'll probably buy a Prusa. The ones, that's what everybody's saying that they have, and I'll probably do that. It's a Prusa. Plus goes right there. Negative goes right there. Okay. Get in there. So after I connect this power source, the last thing is going to be getting that 3.5 millimeter jack. Then we'll plug it in and run a test. I'm going to have to, once again, I'm going to have to probably, I wonder if I can, aha, there we go. So those are sticking good. Just make sure. So this is plus, and plus is going to plus. Okay. Fan on, and soldering iron. Oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I didn't pull it off soon enough. Here, let me try again to desolder. There we go. All right, now this one. We're getting there. Okay, down to the last three. Trim those off. 1, 2. Fan off. All right, so for this last piece, I'm going to, that's where these come into play. And I wonder if I leave these on or not. Not probably. Because they're bare wires right here. They'll probably cause a... So where am I from? I am living right now in Arizona, Mesa, Arizona. Have been for 25 years. Originally from Wyoming, and that is where I'm going to be ending up in about 5 years. Back in Wyoming, I have property there, and it's where I love to be. So... Am I building a time machine? Yeah, I'm building a Morse code paddle, a homemade Morse code paddle, a pressure paddle. A time machine of sorts, because who does Morse code, right? Okay, I'm going to clip these off. And now I'm going to... wonder if that's going to be enough. I bet that's not going to be enough. I'm going to... Where are my strippers? And I don't mean that kind of stripper. I mean wire stripper. KB3RDT. Okay. So let's see, 3-land. That are you in where is 3-land going to be? Is that's Midwest somewhere, I'm thinking. So Carl, where are you from? Are you in 3-land? All right, probably gonna go right here. All right, these are hard to strip because I don't have the proper stripping size for these, but we'll do our best. The flux capacitor. No, not quite, but close. All right, it's just such tiny wires here. Okay, this is the last thing, and then we can test it. So what I need to do is get my notes, because I did a test already on this pin, because I needed to know what there's this section of the pin, the end, and then there's the middle section, and then there's the bottom section, and each section represents a different part of this, or a different cable or wire. And here's my notes, and it says that the red wire is the DA, and is the middle. The green wire is the tip. So let's see up here. Lift this up a little bit. So the tip here is the DIT, okay? And the DIT, according to my notes, is the tip, and green, okay? So I just need to make sure that the green wire goes right here. It plugs into the circuit right there. So green wire goes to D, pin D, which is pin 1. And remember the schematic. I'll show you the schematic again. So you can see, actually it's the same thing. Let me show you on this, it's easier to look at. So right there, pin 1D, right there. So I am going to add the green wire to pin 1. And I think that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, dits, green wire. Okay, let's try that. Dit. So here's the circuit. This is the way I like to see it. So I built this side first. Let's put the dit in 1. So I'm actually gonna just go right here. Green goes to 1. I think I need to tin these real quick. Put some, tin these, get some solder on these tips here real quick. Take the schematic down, use my grabbers. Because they're just too flimsy otherwise. Am I out of solder again? What the heck? It keeps disappearing. I'm not sure if I'm using it or, oh boy, what's up here? There we go. Fan on, because we're gonna solder. All right. Green wire goes in pin 1. That's not pin 1. That is. I'll worry about those others later. Let's get pin 1 soldered first. Whoa, is it already 12:47? My lunch break is almost over. We may have to resume again tomorrow. I hate to do that to you guys because you've been hanging with me so long and want to see this tested. Let's see if we can get it done though. I'm afraid. I'm very afraid that it's not gonna that there's gonna be a problem somewhere. But we'll see. All right. Okay, pin 1, and then so that's the dit. The DA goes to pin 1 of the other side. Okay, that works for me. Let's put this back. And that is going to be, what color? I think red, right? So the DA is the middle and it's red. Okay, DA, middle, red. All right. So the red one, pin 1. And then I guess that means the black one goes to ground. Yeah, we'll get this done. At least to test it anyway. Okay. Fan on. You never know with these projects too. I'm already kind of skirting and saying, you know, you never know, because I've had so many projects that have had like troubleshooting issues. Oftentimes they don't work right away and you have to kind of figure out what the heck's going on. But when I breadboarded it, it worked right away. So it's a simple enough circuit. We're going to hope it does work. I think that's good. And then the last is the black to ground. Let's find a ground somewhere. Why not this ground? So that's plus, this is minus. Why not right here? Is there something going in there? There's something in there already. Well, This is ground right here. Why not just in that hole right there? Oh, looks like if I can get it up in there. It looks like this needs to be trimmed just a little bit. Now we'll try it. Is that resistor in the way again? No, it's not. Let me get it in here. Negative. Gosh, where can I put it in there? I think right. I think it's going to go right in there. I hope that is correct. Where'd it go? Did it fall out? Yeah, it did. There we go. Sorry guys, I didn't show you sooner, but that's negative, and that's that pad right there. Yeah, don't rush. You're right. I shouldn't. I just want to make, you know, you guys have been with me for an hour and a half. I just want to make sure I get this to the point where you can actually see something. But no promises. You know, like I said, as these projects go, you still might not be able to see anything. Okay. Now where'd that go? There it is, right here. Come on. That's tough, man. All right, I should be able to get that soldered. There we go. All right, this fan is already on. 10. All right. Is that it right there? Yep. Okay, moment. Let's get those trimmed real quick. Trim those off. Okay, everybody, it is time. Let's at least test it before we try to figure out the enclosure and the issues with the enclosure. I can't remember, I think it was Oklahoma who said he didn't think the leads were going to be long enough, and I think he is right. But we'll figure that out. So let me just kind of pull these over here like this. All right, moment of truth. I have here the CW hotline. It's just a kit I put together. It has within it a CW keyer, and a keyer allows for the once you send a signal on one side, it'll just send a bunch of dits, and on the other it'll send a bunch of dots if the circuit is built correctly. Plug this in. Plug the keyer in, and turn the battery on. Oh, we got a short somewhere. We got a short somewhere. So that's not good. Well, that's what our project will be for tomorrow, is figuring out where the short is. Or where the, maybe it's not even a short, maybe it's just a problem, but here we go. Yeah. Yep, not working. Okay, guys, well, we'll go through and we'll trace everything and see where we have the short or where the schematic or where the circuit is wrong tomorrow. It is 12:55. Not laughing at me. Hey, you know what? I've learned to expect these things. Probably want to take out the battery if it is a short. Well, yeah, I have there's a on-off switch. So if I turn it off, I think that it'll be fine. It's not a problem now. When I turn it on, switch it on, that's when we get a problem. So yeah, so DIT side of the circuit, yeah. Well, it's actually, I don't know if it's the DIT side of the circuit, because here's what's happening. It's sending a DIT and a DAW. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So it's actually, who knows? Well, we'll figure it out. And if we have to, we'll build another one. If we can't figure it out, and we'll take it slower but I don't know. We'll trace through this tomorrow during lunch and see if we can figure it out. One thing we need to do to troubleshoot, just so you guys know, one of the main things, one of the ways in which you troubleshoot is you got to check and make sure that all of these aren't crossed. You know, they're all on their pads and not none of the soldering kind of slipped over to the other side. That's one thing, and then you got to make sure all of the wires, if they're not touching each other, if there's exposure. And then the last thing is, oftentimes, I think the most important thing is oftentimes you build a schematic wrong. You connect a wire in the wrong place, and you know, there may be something I'm not thinking of that is not working. So I don't know. We'll trace through it and we will figure it out.